Yeah, I think the biggest issue is childcare. Everywhere I go around the state, women especially, but if we can do something to help businesses provide childcare, or the government helps with whether it's tax incentives or some version to make it more affordable for people, provide more slots around the country for people, I think that would go a long way into getting people back to work. Well, inflation is real for a lot of families, and I hear about it everywhere I go as well. And I think we got to pass a tax cut, I think, for working people. We got to do something that's going to put money in their pockets right now to absorb the impact of inflation. Longer term, we got to do kind of what we're doing with Intel. I mean, we've got to bring the supply chain back. I mean, those cargo ships in California aren't coming from Kansas. I mean, this is 30 or 40 years of saying, like, it's okay to outsource all these jobs, the supply chain, gloves, masks, I mean, soup to nuts, chips, and we got to bring those jobs back here to Ohio and here to the United States. And over the long term, I think that will help with inflation as well. Well, I think we got to get healthier as a country. I think that's a big part of it. But I think one of the issues is drop the Medicare age to 50, or 55. Allow people to buy into the Medicare program. That's going to remove the oldest and sickest people in the private market into the Medicare program, and that will help reduce costs. We got to negotiate down drug prices. We do that with the VA. I think the Medicare program needs to do that as well. Use the buying power of the Medicare program. That will drive down the cost of pharmaceuticals in the private sector as well. So those are two ways I think that we could make pretty good strides in driving costs down. I've said, like, look, we can be hostile to greed, we can be hostile to income inequality, we can be hostile to a concentration of wealth, but we can't be hostile to business. We've got to work with public-private partnerships to help American businesses grow here. And that means having a tax code that is reliable, but also, doesn't reward people for outsourcing jobs, but really rewards companies who invest into their workers, pay them a good wage, their pension, their benefits. If you're taking care of your worker, you should get the tax cut. And I think if we do that, that would enhance growth. I'm as pro-worker as they get, but if you don't have businesses that are going to hire those workers and pay them well, then you're not doing the workers any justice. So working with the businesses to get a tax code really that rewards those that are investing into the communities and the people that work for them, and that will allow them to grow. I think absolutely. We all understand climate change is an issue. We all understand it needs to be addressed. We all want clean air and clean water, and we've got to make sure that we allow that to happen. But sometimes things get crazy, and those laws aren't necessarily applied in a way that is helpful. So I think we can do both. We can have both a clean environment, we can reverse climate change, and make sure that we're not losing jobs. It's not an either or. And so we need to provide businesses with clear guidance as to how we do this, and businesses will generally adapt, but you can't have nonsensical thinking in some of these matters. We got to be very clear-eyed on this, because we got to help these businesses grow, but we can protect the environment and help them grow. I don't think it's a choice that has to be made. I think the infrastructure bill is one of the most pro-business pieces of legislation I've seen in my career in Congress. I mean, getting broadband to local communities so that businesses can grow and thrive, making sure the infrastructure is upgraded, making sure we're moving to an electric vehicle market by helping with the charging stations and those kind of things. Those are very much pro-growth, pro-business policies. We also got to give them the skilled workforce. I think one of the big mistakes we made is telling everybody they have to go to college, and that eroded the skilled trades. We need to get shop class back. We need to reinvest in our joint vocational schools, encourage apprenticeships. That will also help these businesses grow, because then they'll have the skilled workforce that they need. I know, even making college affordable for an associate's degree or certification, welders, construction workers. These are the jobs we need. And so the more we make these investments into infrastructure and skills and shop class, the more the businesses are going to be able to grow, because they're really hampered now because they can't find the workers that they need to grow. And so it goes hand in hand. Oh man, it's got to be like the Rocky Balboa theme song. Let's do it.